Hello Tenno, welcome to another video. It's me, BagHead. Welcome to the channel once again. In this video I want to talk about the primes of this year because yes, every prime release since I started playing this game have been exciting. I said this game at 2024. Like Severgod was exciting, Gyre Prime was exciting, Proto Prime was like they were cool primes, but this year is kind of special because like the lineup of this year is stacked because like every year four new primes released, and this year's four, unless the order changes, like another one gets swapped. This year's four is insane, and these four are the four primes that's probably gonna release this year are Stynex, Citrine, Kullervo, and Voruna. Four of my favorite Warframes. And I quickly want to talk about their kits if you didn't meet these Warframes yet. I just want to quickly go over what makes me so excited about them, why I think they're really awesome, etc. etc. So welcome to BagHead. Can't stop talking about his favorite Warframes. So first of all, we got Stynex here. Stynex was one of my first Warframes I probably bought with Plaid because farming him was time gated. It's like a 5 week frame where you have to get him, and he's pretty cool. He's like a Spartan themed frame, and his passive is Stynex's critical chance increases with his shields and doubles for spear guns. He has two release weapons, but I don't have them. I will go to the wiki after I talk about this kit to show them. His first ability is Axios Javelin, where you just like throw a javelin, and then if it hits an enemy, it creates like this vortex. This got a new augment, but unfortunately I didn't get it. I think his second ability got a new augment as well, but I didn't get those yet. I will look into those. His second ability, Toro Strike, is also pretty cool. Toro Strike, if I remember correctly, he just swings this shield and his armor strips enemies. And of course, this scales with strength, so it can become 100% strip. Rally Point is his coolest ability, in my opinion, because his passive is like, oh, you gain critical chance by shields, but Rally Point also gives you extra shields for the amount of enemies you kill, and this buffs also is given to your allies as well, and he also has energy regen. So some people usually replace Axios Javelin with Nourish to do the funny, but I sometimes do it, sometimes don't. I'm probably gonna use Axios Javelin more. And his fourth ability is his bread and butter. It's called, what was it called again? Let me check that. Final Stand. This has an augment called Intrepid Stand, as you saw like 1 minute ago. Basically, when this ability came out and the augment came out, it's basically infinite overguard. I'm pretty sure this is a cap now, but the cap is probably really high because like you don't gain that much of overguard each time you cast this, because even with good duration, this ability probably lasts like 10 seconds. So you're probably gonna get like 10k overguard at best, and this probably stacks up to, I think most I stacked up with this with Stynex was 50k. But without the augment, when he first released, I'm assuming that it gave only overshield, I believe. Like it just healed him and he gave overshield. But this ability is pretty cool. Yeah, I get like 15k, right? It's like 10k. Yeah, it's like 10k and I was 24. Like, Stynex is a cool warframe. He has incredible amounts of self-sustain. He has good armor strip, good grouping ability. Like, I don't think he's that much flawed. And like, I just cannot wait to see his prime design as well, because DE has been cooking with the prime designs. And a warframe with this much self-sustain and fun abilities and this overguard generation is gonna be one of the coolest and probably one of the most sought after primes when he releases. Like, I cannot wait to get this war of him. When we get to his weapons, though, I cannot say I'm as excited. So let me open the wiki real quick. So Stynex released with two weapons. One of them was Aphentis. It's a spear gun. You unlock it from Call missions, same as Stynex. And I think it didn't have any good stats. Like, it has 26% critical chance, which is not bad. 2 times critical multiplier, that's fine. The status chance is 24%. But like, this weapon had a gimmick where I think you throw this weapon with the alt fire and it gives you reload boost. It's like it creates a bubble and you like enter that bubble. You basically get like reload speed and something. Well, like, I don't know how to feel about this weapon because it deals like blast damage with the alt fire as well. But like, I believe this was a really slow shooting weapon, and the ammo count was not that great, so you would reload a lot. So if I remember correctly, this weapon was used more for utility with its alt fire because allowing player give this second arm, throwing the spear consumes one ammo, build to ground, right field as killing him while within the ballistic field. Oh, there we go. So the field that's created by the offense gives you these. You get reload speed, fire rate, and attack speed, reserve ammo, and minus 50% recoil. So as I said, the weapon itself is but the benefits you get from the alt fire is pretty good. But I don't know how big that zone was because I don't know if you could expand that zone with any mod. Like from what I remember, it's like a tiny bubble. But if you can get like enemies inside that, I believe it's gonna increase the seconds. Yeah, killing an enemy while player is out, so while you are inside the bubble, will maintain the bar for 40 seconds. Well, constant. So as long as you're in the field, you will gain it. Like I said, like the weapon itself is meh. It's a spear gun. It doesn't have that much ammo, and even though the stats are great, like it's not a weapon that can deal with hordes that easily. So what people do is usually they do the alt fire, stay inside the bubble, and they bring like a AOE secondary, like maybe Kuva Nucore or Dultox, and they just like go ham on the enemies if the secondary wasn't already broken. So like in the prime version, I'm hoping some stat changes for the better so the weapon itself can be used as well because the alt fire buff is already good. I don't know if they're gonna buff that too, but like that's like the utility is the only thing that excites me about this weapon. His secondary weapon that came with Stynex is called Agrit. It's a throwable weapon. Let me find that as well. So Agrit kind of confuses me because like it's an explosive throwable weapon. It has good critical chance because I'm pretty sure it had something like 37 crit chance. Like that's pretty good, and the status chance was like 90%. So it was like crit weapon, but like it's kind of a slow moving projectile. It arches really badly. Like when the Prime comes out, I'm genuinely hoping Agrit Prime is something really insane because the way it is right now, I don't like it. Like, even though the critical chance is amazing, it's just a slow moving projectile that you can detonate with the alt fire, but like, it doesn't feel that worth it compared to another throwable weapon. I believe it's like Coda. It's like a Coda weapon, but again, that's a Lich weapon, so it's obviously gonna be better. But like compared to other throwable weapons, Agrid kind of falls behind, and that's natural because the good throwable weapons are all like specialized in Carnons or like the Coda one is a Coda weapon, like a Lich weapon. So I'm hoping something great from Agrid Prime. Well, let's get on to Citrian now. All right, Citrian. This is actually the one that excites me the most because the thing about Citrian is her farm is horrendous. So that's why she's like forcibly underrated. Like it's not like she's underrated because she's weak. She's underrated because like farming her is torturous. Like you have to go to the mirror defense in Mars. It takes a long time to get all those crystals, and then the pity system for the entire farm is also really bad because like it wants you to do like you do like 10 rounds, right? And after those 10 rounds you get those crystals, the red and the blue crystal, which lets you go to the pity shop if you didn't get the citrine parts or the citrine signature weapon parts from the mission itself. However, even though you do like a 1 hour long farm, the amount of blue and red crystals don't even like be enough to get like more than one part, like maybe just the systems. That's why like Citrian Farm is really horrible. And getting her as a prime this year is like, in my opinion, something incredible because now more players will get to experience her incredible power. A health tanker that can also shield tank because of her DR. Good priming with her crystals, insane good support with the critical chances, and she gives regeneration to allies, which can ramp up. Like, she is an incredible support Warframe, and I'm finally happy that she will get the recognition she deserves thanks to her being more available with her Prime release. So let's get on with her abilities. Her passive is pretty simple. She has regeneration, and this regeneration amount will increase by each health orb you collect, and her kit helps that. And I'm pretty sure this regeneration is capped at 25 HP per second, but that doesn't take that long considering like you can get health orbs really easily. Yep, there we go. Yeah, zero is like 24 health orbs or something, maybe more. Her first ability is really simple. She throws crystal shards at enemies, and if you kill these enemies, it will drop guarantee health orbs and a chance of like energy orbs or something. Let me see if the chances were that bad. Yeah, health orb drop is 95, energy orb drop is 38%. So use equilibrium. I think I use energize just for convenience here as well. Preserving Shell is the damage reduction ability. With each kill, the damage reduction can increase up to either 85 or 90%. I think it was 90%. The maximum. It was either 85 or 90%. Her third ability is the funniest one because it has two playstyles based on the augment you use. So Prismatic Gem. You either put a gem in like a selected part of the map, priming enemies with basic forms of the elements like heat, cold, toxin, electricity. Like don't proc the combined forms, just the basic default forms. This also has an augment called Prismatic Companion, which if you have a dog or a cat or a hound, like a robot dog, you can put it on them, and they will carry it around, which gives her another playstyle. And her fourth ability also an ability with an amazing, incredible augment, which is called Crystallize. Crystallize basically creates these crystals on enemies, and if you shoot those crystals, it will give you red crits. And this also has an augment called Recrystallize, where if you kill enemies with crystals in the range, other enemies will spawn other crystals. So it's similar to the sonar augment that Banshee has. She has two signature weapons, one of them being Stephalos, I'm hoping that the Prime variant makes this weapon really good. Because Stephalos, how can I say? Stephalos is like a worse Archiplasmor. Basically, what Stephalos does is the projectile keep travels as long as it's hitting enemies. However, the damage doesn't feel that great. Like you can try to abuse this with with the bubble, but like it still feels like you better using even regular Archiplasmor feels better to use, and Archiplasmor also has a Tenet variant too, so Stephalos kind of falls behind. Also, the problem with Stephalos is the ammo on it is really low. Like you run out of ammo on Stephalos really fast. So as long as you have like an ammo mutation mod, you're not like getting anything from this weapon. So I hope that the Prime variant makes this weapon a force to reckon with. Her other signature weapon is Corfell. And Corfell is a gun sight. Like if I can say this the right way. So it's basically a sight weapon. It's like a heavy sight, similar to that Zerman one. But if you heavy attack, it shoots a projectile that deals damage, so you can use it with Tenno to deal insane amount of damage. I need to rebuild this weapon, but it's quite fun. Like, it's a fun weapon, and I'm hoping that the Prime variant also gives this weapon a bit better stats, because sometimes this weapon can feel like it's falling off, like not dealing enough damage. But like when it does deal damage, it does deal damage. Like in general, still pad, it just gonna nuke enemies, but I'm just hoping that the Prime variant, like Corfell Prime, will make it even more insane. Alright, let's get on to the probably gonna be the most insane Prime release this year, which is Kullervo. Man, Kullervo. So I think this will be the most insane release of this year if no scheduling changes happens, because sometimes future primes can be swapped like what should be released. Like Sever got Prime released, but he was like two primes after, but they released it early. Like it might happen. But if Clover Prime does release, it's probably gonna be one of the most insane releases. Well, it's probably gonna be more sought after than Steinax or Voruna as well. Maybe Voruna might top this. But so Clover, he is one of the strongest melee warframes. He has one of the strongest sniper warframes as well because of his ability Collective Curse, which I will talk about. And he's just an overall fun warframe, which yeah, probably one of those most vackiest melee proficiencies. So what does he do? Clovo has like heavy attack efficiency and heavy attack wind-up speed, so heavy attacking with him will be 10 times faster. Redful Advance, also his most famous subsume ability. Let me get to it real quick. You can basically tap to teleport to an enemy, do a heavy attack, then you get red crits. If you don't want to do the heavy attack, you can hold the ability, aim the teleport, and you can just teleport manually and get the red crits regardless. Pretty cool. Really simple ability, really strong ability as well. You get a bunch of red crits out of it. Recompense used to be really bad, but now it's really good because they increased the overguard cap. Basically, you shoot out blades, and if it hits enemies, you get overguard. If it doesn't, they return back to you, damaging you. But it's probably gonna hit enemies. And now it has an augment where it becomes a ability with a higher duration, so you can be immortal for a long time. So he has good sustain too. Collective Curse is the one I was talking about for snipers. You basically chain enemies together and it shares the damage. So if you're using a sniper rifle, it will deal bunch of damage. And its fourth ability is Uko's Vrat, if I remember correctly. You make weapons, you make like swords rain. And I'm pretty sure this gives you like combo counter as well. I'm pretty sure all of his I think his own. It's either only his four or his other damaging abilities that gives him like combo counter, which is pretty cool. He released with his signature weapon is a shotgun called Rauta. Rauta is not a damaging weapon. Unfortunately, it's yet another utility weapon. What it does is for each pellet that hit the enemy, you will get combo. So if you build enough multi-shot with this weapon, you can just get 12 times combo really easily, and you get combo duration for extra 7 seconds if it's wielded by Kularo himself. Unfortunately though, Roto's damage is not that great. Like I'm using it against heavy gunners, but even against regular grenadiers, it takes a few shots to kill, and you're gonna have to build like it for full damage because I don't think status like it is a status weapon, but like you have to give it a lot of damage for it to hit that, so you can just use 60 mods on this weapon. So I'm hoping that the prime variant of Router also deals damage with the utility as well, because that would be really cool. Like I know that as you can see right now, his skills are already really strong with his melee stuff, his range stuff, etc. But I want his signature weapon to be good as well. So I just want to be hopeful about Router. But yeah, really tanky, insane melee, insane sniper opportunity, just overall pretty crazy Warframe, and I can't wait to see the prime of him. So let's get on with the last Warframe that I want to talk about, which is Voruna. Alright, this probably might even be a more insane prime release than Coloro, because there were some talks about maybe giving her a different Volking animation for her fourth ability. So I don't know if how true that is, but I digress. So Vorna is another melee warframe. She also does her melee job really well, and she has a different way of meleeing because she has priming with meleeing as well, and she has special passive based on the ability connected to her abilities as well. What her passive is, when you hold down an ability, they do something special with her wolf heads. So her first ability makes her go invisible, and when you hit an enemy with a melee attack, it does like extra critical damage, critical chance, and guaranteed slash procs. And when you hold this ability, you get parkour velocity. This also has an augment where when you go invisible, it pings an enemy, and if you use your second ability on the pinged enemy, which procs them with 10 different status chances, it will do the spread part to even further area than its regular range, like 200 meters or well, how much was it again? Not 200 meters. It was like percentage thing. Yeah, so that spread radius like increases by 100% or something. It's even larger. You can just like nuke the entire map with the second ability with the augment. That augment should be easy to access. I don't remember its name though. When I get to the build, I'm gonna talk about it. But yeah, like I said, the first ability augment pings an enemy, they light up, and when you bite down them with the second ability, which is supposed to proc them with 10 different status chances, the augment lets you spread the statuses even to an even longer range, because normally it will spread, but it's not that much of a big area. So if you bite the pinged enemy and kill them, boom. Like Hunt is her energy thing. Like when you headshot an enemy, it drops energy orbs. When you kill an enemy with melee, it gets you health orbs. So she's yet another equilibrium warframe. I wouldn't suggest arcane persistence. Similar to our not using its own citrine. Like these two, I don't think needs arcane persistence that hard, because they can survive different ways. Wolfram's descent is she gets on all fours and you can jump on enemies. This also has an augment which lets you get infinite uses, because the ability regular has 4 uses. And yeah, when you hold down her second ability, it gives you status immunity. When you hold down the third ability, it gives you heavy attack efficiency. And when you hold down the fourth ability, it gives you a second life. Pretty cool. She's your average. Like, she's not the average. She's a priming nuke, fourth ability nuke slash nuke kind of warframe. Just a really good wolf team warframe. I really enjoy her kit, but I don't play her that much. But I think she's also one of the best melee warframes similar to Kullarwa. Just does a different way for her damage. But she's pretty cool. She also released with 2 weapons. And like her prime variant probably gonna have an incredible design, but these 2 weapons, I hope their prime versions are incredible, because they are not bad. They have interesting gimmicks. Let me quickly talk about them, because unfortunately I don't have them. I'm gonna open the wiki again. The first weapon I will talk about is Perigale. That's her signature sniper rifle. The gimmick is when you headshot enemies, it gains 100% ammo efficiency. So as long as you're precise, you will have infinite ammo. It's a good sniper. It doesn't deal enough damage at times. Maybe with ribbons it's kind of good, but yeah, overall I didn't see this weapon being played that much. There are better sniper options, etc. So I'm hoping the prime variant gives this some good stats and just makes it deal a lot of damage. The melee weapon I'm more interested in. Her melee weapon only kind of lacks some damage, because the gimmick is really cool. When you have 8 times combo and you heavy attack, like a heavy slam, like you jump and slam, it creates a vortex where it sucks up all the enemies, if I remember correctly, which deals. It's either deals like blast or magnetic or something like that. Let me see. Yeah, performing a heavy attack with an 8 times combo, it's 5 times if it's wielded by Vorna. Briefly pulls enemies with 9 meters towards the center of the slam. Like you can do insane stuff with it. Maybe if you go animosity, or you can go melee influence and do the funniest stuff you can do. Or you can go melee afflictions and abuse the ragdoll effect of the pool to deal insane DOT damage with maybe a gas build or something like that. But yeah, surfing is a cool slam weapon. It has a really interesting gimmick, and all I want to see from the prime variant is extra damage. Alright, this was my yapping session about why do I think this year is probably the most stacked year for Prime releases. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, subscribe, comment on which Primes for this year you're excited for. Like which one you're excited the most. Are you excited for Kulurvo, Voruna? Are you excited for Citrine, Stynax? Or are you excited for another Prime that can release in next year or the other year? Let me know in the comments. And I see you, Tenno, in the next video.